Rain will come in. It'll cool you off. Bill's just telling us we actually have a tornado warning.
Let's bring it out.
Coming in right now. So waiting on the information for this. I'm going to assume that's for that's
for Newcastle County. Exactly right.
All right. So let's bring this back over here, Jim. We're gonna circle back and we're gonna take you into this severe thunderstorm warning here.
And we're going to go ahead and start that. I'm going to launch up the box real quick so we can take a look at this for you guys, just kind of real time on the fly. So while you're doing that, I'm going to read, we got the tornado warning up for Newcastle County, Delaware. It's also up for Chester County and Delaware County, PA.
All right.
As you can see there, frequent amounts of lightning in this area as well as we roll into the next couple of hours.
So Bill, come on in here and I'll step off to the side and we can analyze this together. You get all this lightning, you get the gusty winds. Now, I was looking at the radar just a few minutes ago, and the rotation was on the northern side of this.
Let's look at where that is. And by the way, that purple shade, I'm going to read the specific warning. That's an indicator that it was an observed tornado. So let's go ahead. While you're talking, I'm going to put that on, and I'm going to do a track on it for you. Go ahead.
All right, so right there, this is where we're seeing that rotation, which is that indication that we have the tornado from a radar perspective, but this warning was issued from what we understand because there was actual visual evidence of a tornado on the ground, or at least some type of damage that would suggest the tornado, and then you confer that with the radar signature, and that's where we're looking at that tornado warning. Now, the whole cell moving to the east around 45 to 50 miles per hour. Wilmington, you are in this tornado warning, right?
Yeah, so it says, to repeat, a large and extremely dangerous and potentially deadly tornado is developing. Take cover now, and they say here the locations include, as you mentioned, Wilmington, Newark, Westchester, Chester, Westtown, Ellesmere. It's a particularly dangerous situation. At 5:02 p.m., a large and extremely dangerous tornado was located over Landenberg, or 7 miles north of Newark, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. So let's zoom on down with that.
Right there.
Yeah, so we're going to go down. There's Newark, and we're going to zoom down. Let's put the radar back on for you. A couple things we're going to watch. And folks, if you're just joining us, brand new tornado warning in effect that the National Weather Service, they usually don't use the language particularly dangerous situation very often. But if one's observed like that's something you don't want to mess around with for sure.
And especially in a largely populated area, right? And there's nothing to keep this storm from continuing at its current strength or weakening, right? So it's going to continue to track to the east, and that's why we've got a particularly dangerous situation for what is looking to be a tornado on the ground. We'll have our crews here at CBS Philadelphia try to confirm that, try to get some information, but if you are located in this area, so this is northern Newcastle County, this includes Wilmington. If you're in this area, also parts of southeastern Chester County, up into Delco, up into Delaware County here in southeastern Pennsylvania. Get to your safe place right now. We say every safe place is different depending on your home and where you're located, but regardless, you want to put as many walls between you and the outside.
Yeah, and that's important. And I'm going to go grab the chat from the National Weather Service in just a second, but just kind of put a sample on moving at 50 miles per hour. And I'm sampling the entire storm here. I don't want to just sample one little part there. If nothing else, the amount of lightning, the strong winds, but now that we have it sounds like a confirmed tornado, even though that velocity wasn't a crystal clear show on there, we need you to take this very seriously and take your tornado precautions now. I'm going to grab that real quick. I'll be back in 2 seconds here.
I want to look at, we have this product on the radar which allows us to look at the debris and what might. See there? Yeah. So let's see if we can pull that up here and look at that correlation coefficient here. Where is that?
It's going to be on the right hand side. It's going to be right there we go.
All right. So what this is showing us, or potentially telling us, is if there's any sort of non-raindrop material, so biological material, it could be dirt, it could be something from a home or something like that, and if it's being picked up by the radar, then that would suggest that there's actually a tornado on the ground. And what I'm seeing right here,
what do you see there?
Well, you look at this, and this area right there near New Garden, all right? So I'm seeing right there near New Garden, that signature, it could be the heavy rain, it could be the hail, but there's also the possibility that we may see something there that's producing the tornado that would be producing the debris that would then be potentially lofting it up into the sky. So we got to watch that New Garden area and points east.
And so let's take this map, and I can actually, we're going to leave this map up here for a second. And what I want to do, folks, is I want to take the track and the timing a little bit deeper in time, not just the next 10 or 15 minutes, which is potentially critically important. But let's take this out a little bit more. We're going to take it through Philadelphia, and tell you what, I'm going to take this map off for just a second, and we're tracking this at 50 miles per hour. That I'd maybe even get a little bit ahead of it.
Right.
And I'm going to take a sample out right here, kind of the leading edge. So this isn't necessarily where that strongest part of the storm is. It's the entire storm, because I don't, in a situation like this, we could get some spin pretty much anywhere popping up out of this, and then all the other threats are in play regardless if you don't have a tornado over your area. So that puts it in Philly here on another 20 minutes, which has been tracking fairly consistently over the last hour.
Yeah, this cell we've been tracking as it moved through Maryland. It was moving around 40 miles per hour about an hour ago, and then it started to pick up speed as it moved into southeastern Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so Gloucester 544, Bristol, we'll put that right around 551, and the sound that you just heard is that's just the extension of that. Let me take a look if the National Weather Service, no, that was just an update on the active severe thunderstorm warning that we have here into Chester County, Delaware County, down to Newcastle, now Kent. It extends down, but again, this is our area. We're going to go focus in again on the tornado. We don't see the purple shade show up on this one very often.
I can't think of one time that we have.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, this is a situation where it was a severe thunderstorm warning, and we'll get the information from the National Weather Service soon, but they got somebody called them, whether it was an emergency manager, whether it was a report from somebody on the ground, they got some type of information that said, look, we think there's a tornado on the ground. It wasn't a radar indicated tornado, and that's why we get that purple color. Bill, is this the Fort Dix radar?
That is, yeah, that's yes, that's Fort Dix, yes. Let me go to DOX and see what that one's showing, kind of go to a different radar if it populates here.
And that's the thing, you know, when you're in between two different radar sites, the radar, there's one down at Dover Air Force Base, and there's one up at Fort Dix. And these radar beams, as they go out from distance, as they go out across the landscape, the radar beam goes higher and higher and higher up into the sky. So this spin is actually closer to the ground than what the radar is probably able to see. Right,
so yeah, exactly. So the farther away it is, if you just picture the tilt of the Earth, the radar is going to shoot higher up. What we're looking at now is what's called the terminal Doppler radar. This is in Philadelphia, not technically a PHL, but it's close. So this one's closer. And again, what I'm seeing on this is some extremely strong winds. In fact, if I sample parts of this, I'm just going to take a random part of the blue, and then I'm going to do another track for you to give you some timing. This one's showing anywhere between about 50 to 70 miles per hour. I am not seeing a very crystal clear rotation signature on either DOX, on any of the three radars that we look for. Let's go back to the one that's down out of Kent County. And, you know, yeah, there's certainly a little bit of change in here for sure.
What you're going to see with winds propelling out from the storm.
Sure. Let's go back to Fort Dix and look at this one. I mean, that's, again, very bright colors, meaning the winds are moving faster. The legend right above Grant that shows you these are the winds moving toward the radar. We'd like to see, or not like to see, but when we look at tornadoes, we look at that rotation, the different color that's kind of embedded within. But like you said, this is looking fairly high up. This is, I mean, certainly a few thousand feet up. You know, so it's not looking right down at the surface. So what we're going to do is I'm just want to put, again, if you're just joining us, maybe you heard your alerts go off on your phone.
Westchester right there.
What do you want to go back to that one?
That velocity there.
Okay, let's take a look at this one again.
Right there, you know, this area right there, that could be the hook.
Little notch in there?
Yeah.
Right, sure.
You know, I think that's the area to look. You probably have an outflow boundary. Maybe on the northern side of it, you have a little bit of that rotation, just a little loop on the north side of it. So.
Tell you what, I'm going to track this out again just while we're talking about it, but I'm going to start there. I'm going to bring it out to the leading edge because it definitely has, I mean, severe level winds. And let's just use this track, and again, kind of talking about getting into your basement, get as many walls as between you and the outside as possible. If you don't have a basement, that's what you want to do. Get into a center part of the room, have as many walls there between you and the outside. They are not saying here that I can see that where they got that information was from an emergency manager, if it was from, you know, maybe a local law enforcement, somebody from the local National Weather Service, media, but they do say their language is extremely strong on this. Extremely dangerous tornado, located over Landenberg, about 7 miles north of Newark, moving to the northeast at 40. Particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. You are in a life-threatening situation. I mean, this is some serious language.
Those hit all the points, right?
Yeah.
To act now, get to a safe place, take this storm seriously.
Right, right. So that's why we have the track on here for you. I just want to leave this up for just a moment. And, you know, Grant and I and the whole CBS Philadelphia team helping keep you and your family safe and prepared and protected. But you can be part of that story as well. Maybe you're not here, but you know somebody that's here and in this area. Give them a call. Hey, you know, tune in or just take your shelter now, because we have some very strong storms that are coming through, and there is an active tornado warning in this area as well. So, you know, help us get that word out. Our most important job is to keep people safe. That's really why we do this.
Severe thunderstorm warning looks like they issued a new one until 6 o'clock.
Let's take a look at that.
So the tornado warning goes until 5:15. So about another minute or so on this tornado warning. We'll see if they issue a new tornado warning.
That's a new one. This one now goes out to Burlington County. That's a brand new one coming in right now. And they've just extended the severe thunderstorm warning, which is this right here, that extends now into Philadelphia, up into Bucks County, and looks like it goes up to Mercer County as well.
It looks like the tornado warning now until 5:30. Is that right, too?
Let's see. Yes. So 5:30. Let's go ahead and just sample this on here, and we'll get another track on that too. Okay. Yeah, they got. And every time you hear the sound here, that is a new. It's an internal chat that we have directly with the National Weather Service that we can then bring the information straight to you. So when the warnings are issued, they come up, I mean, as quickly as they are issued there. Somebody else has asked about, like, we're looking for the approximate location in terms of what's going on with the velocity data there. So I'm continuing to scan the chat and bring information as I see it.
You know, this warning here, you know, Philly, even though you're not in a tornado warning, certainly the Northeast, you know, from Center City points north up into the PA suburbs, I would just start getting inside right now. If kids are out playing outside, you know, summer is fresh. You know, a lot of kids just looking to be outside. It's a hot day. Maybe the sprinklers are going in the back like that out at the pool.
I mean, we talk for sure. We talk about lightning. Now, lightning is not a classifiably severe component. It generally comes with severe weather, but you could have 1,000 strikes in 15 minutes over a certain area. That by itself doesn't warrant a severe thunderstorm warning. What warrants it is winds 58 miles an hour or greater, hail the size of a quarter, which is an inch or greater, or of course a tornado. But yeah, this entire line that extends well down to the south has those components, and certainly the strong winds, right? And the hail, we were tracking the hail possibility earlier. I want to look at that in just a moment. Has the tornado risk, but like you said, lightning is extremely dangerous. Not only, you know, for human life, if you're struck by lightning, obviously that's very dangerous, but it can strike trees. It can strike things around, which then can explode and send things out. And also this time of night, if you have kids, I know, we both have young children as well. This time of night, often they start getting into the baths if they're little and those types of things. Very important. You don't want to take a bath or a shower while there is a thunderstorm overhead. People don't think about that. If you know, likely wouldn't happen. If it strikes the house, then you can get some of that charge. If it hits the copper lines, fortunately some of these days they're going to different types of material like PEX or whatnot, but it hits those copper lines and that can get in the water, and water can take that current and it can charge it up. So let the storm go through. Wait till you don't hear the thunder anymore and it's gone. Just throwing that out there if you have young children and you're here in Gloucester County, Camden County, Salem, let this go by. Let this pass on by, because this is not a storm you want to mess around.
And then this cell right here, you look a little bit farther south, right here, this one's kind of following just to the south of the currently warned cell. This one's going to move just probably about 20 miles south of the current warned cell, and we could have another round of this type of warning. There, we actually do have that severe thunderstorm warning for that cell with a secondary storm just to the north.
Right, so this whole thing, and it goes well off to our south, is charged up. Interesting to note, by the way, and we're going to go right back and get you another local look here in 10 to 15 seconds. Look behind this one, though. There are more warnings behind this. So it's one of those situations where it might not be completely over once this passes by. It will take a lot of energy, but it won't be completely over. That was from the emergency manager in Whiteland Township, PA. Said small limbs down in Middletown, Delco, Knowlton Road and 352. So assignment desk, it sounds like we're starting to get some potential damage reports coming in.
Coming from
small
that storm,
limbs.
right, which probably just from the strong winds.
Right.
That's not confirming that there was the tornado that produced that damage. But regardless, it doesn't matter if it's a tornado or wind, right? I mean, still damage, still dangerous, and still a concern.
And we talked. That's an update on the tornado warning. Let me see what they're saying here. They canceled the tornado warning. That is official right now. The tornado warning for Newcastle, Southwest Chester, Delaware County is canceled, and on our map you can see that they have taken that down. So We can go from here. We're going to continue to keep you updated, but just to kind of wrap this part of it up, tornado warning was issued. Tornado warning has been canceled, but that doesn't mean that we have safe weather out there. It's still very, very dangerous with an active severe thunderstorm warning that will continue, and we will certainly get more, I'm sure.
Yeah, we're certainly going to see some severe thunderstorm warnings. I think any one of these storms, Bill, I mean, we've been tracking these for the last hour and a half or so. Any one of these storms will have the potential to produce the damaging winds that could cause some damage. So I think if you see those dark clouds rolling up, don't think it's just going to be a quick downpour. It's probably going to come with some damaging winds.
Right.
You know, get inside, let the storm move through. Hopefully it doesn't cause any damage.
Sure.
And then, you know, we'll track those storms farther to the west and see if they hang on, which they may not. These storms are probably going to use up a lot of the atmosphere, the energy that's out there.
That's the hope, at least, right? Yeah, so Grant and I will continue to monitor it. We have the severe thunderstorm warning. We're going to have another update for you coming up in just a moment. But as you just witnessed, if we have a tornado warning, we're going to jump on right away, and we are going to get you through the entire storm. You guys will send it back over.
Well done, gentlemen. Thank you so much.